Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. You know you've been thinking about getting a smart thermostat. Specifically, it seems like you're looking at the Google Nest. But, you know, like a lot of they've got a couple of different models.
Yeah.
And you sent us a couple articles comparing them, but sometimes it's hard to figure out from the articles what the real differences are between these, especially since they're called the Nest Learning Thermostat and just the Nest Thermostat.
Right. Not the most descriptive names.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to break it down for you and figure out, maybe what some of the key differences are and hopefully steer you towards, a good decision for your needs and also for your budget, because that's one of the really interesting things we saw right off the bat.
Yeah. There's a pretty significant price difference between the two.
Yeah. So let's just jump right in. The first one. Is this Nest Learning Thermostat? Now, this is kind of like, the OG Nest. This has been around for a while.
Yeah. It kind of set the standard for everybody else.
Yeah. So it's got that history and kind of that reputation, but it also comes with a much higher price tag. This one is $249.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's a chunk of change.
It is.
So let's see what you get for all that.
Yeah.
One of the things the article talked about was the design. And it sounds really cool.
Yeah. It's really sleek. It's kind of got that metal ring around it. You can even get it in like 7 different color finishes.
Oh, wow.
So you can really match it to your decor or just pick a color that you really like.
So you can really make it kind of blend in with your house.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be this like ugly white plastic thing on your wall.
Right. This is more stylish.
Yeah, exactly.
But I also saw that it comes with a trim kit.
Yeah. So if you are replacing an older thermostat and maybe you have some holes or like paint that needs to be covered up, that trim kit will really help.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, it makes the installation look really clean.
Okay. So design-wise, it seems like they've, thought about all the different aspects.
All the different aspects, definitely.
But what about the actual smarts of it? What about this learning thing? What does that even mean?
So it's called the learning thermostat for a reason. It actually observes your habits over time. Like when you adjust the temperature, what times you're home and away, all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then it creates a schedule based on those patterns.
So it's not just like me setting a schedule. It's actually learning what I like.
Exactly. It's adapting to you. And the idea is that it learns to keep you comfortable while also using energy more efficiently, which could potentially save you money on your heating and cooling bills.
People who have these are actually seeing like a difference in their bills.
Yeah, a lot of people say
Yeah.
that they've noticed a decrease in their energy usage.
That's pretty cool. So it's kind of like it's like having a little assistant.
Yeah.
For your home's climate.
Right.
I also saw something about this Farsight feature.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
That's a really cool feature. So the learning thermostat has a high-resolution display. It can show you the time, the weather, or the current temperature. But here's the cool part. It has sensors that can detect when you're approaching.
Oh, wow.
So the display lights up as you walk by, almost like it's greeting you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
And it says that it also works with this Nest temperature sensor.
Yeah.
What is that for?
So imagine you have a room in your house that's always colder or warmer than the rest of the house.
Okay.
Maybe it gets more sunlight or has poor insulation. You can put one of these sensors in that room, and then the learning thermostat will take those readings into account when it's adjusting the temperature.
So you can make sure that every room in your house is the right temperature.
Exactly.
Not just the one.
Where the thermostat is.
Exactly.
Okay, so it seems like they've really packed a lot of features into this learning thermostat.
Yeah.
But we did mention the price. $249 is,
It's a lot.
it's a big investment.
Yeah. So that's where this other one comes in, just the Nest thermostat. And this one is way cheaper.
Right.
This one is only $130.
Much more affordable.
Yeah.
So let's see what you get or don't get for that price.
Yo, what's the trade-off? What are you
Yeah.
giving up to save that $119?
Right. First of all, I noticed that it's still like a modern-looking thermostat.
Yeah, it still looks really nice. It's just made of plastic instead of metal,
Okay.
and it has kind of a mirrored finish.
Oh, cool.
It comes in 4 different colors.
Okay.
So you still have some options to match your style.
So not quite as many as the learning thermostat.
Right.
But still some options.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing I noticed in the article is that it's got this touch control strip on the side,
Yeah.
which looks cool. But I was thinking,
Yeah.
what if you're left-handed?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. the touch strip is on the right side. So if you're left-handed,
Yeah.
you'd have to reach across the thermostat to use it.
Yeah.
Which might not be super comfortable. Not the most convenient.
No.
So that's something to think about if
Yeah.
you're left-handed.
Definitely.
Okay. So besides the design, does this one still have all the smarts? Like, does it learn your schedule?
That's actually the biggest difference between the two.
Okay.
This one. The Nest Thermostat does not learn your schedule like the Learning Thermostat does.
Okay.
You can set a schedule manually,
Mm-hmm.
but it won't automatically adjust based on your habits.
Okay.
And it also relies solely on the Google Home app
Mm-hmm.
for control,
Okay.
unlike the Learning Thermostat, which gives you the option of using either the Nest app or the Google Home app.
Okay. So it's a little more limited.
Yeah, a little bit.
Still a smart thermostat.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it sounds like this one doesn't have the far sight display or the compatibility with the sensor.
Those are both
Yeah.
exclusive to the Learning Thermostat.
Okay. So it seems like we've got two very distinct options here. We've got kind of the high-tech one that does everything for you.
Yeah.
And then we've got the more basic one that still has a lot of the smarts.
The essentials,
Yeah.
but without all the bells and whistles.
Right. But how do you decide which one is right for you?
That is the question. And that's what we'll dive into next.
Stay tuned. We're
I don't
going to figure out which one is the best for your needs and for your budget.
Exactly. Well, I think one of the first things to consider is that price difference.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about a $119 difference.
Yeah. That's not insignificant.
No, not at all. So you really have to think about what features are important to you.
Right. And, you know, like how much are you willing to pay for those features?
Exactly.
So I guess if you're somebody who really likes the latest and greatest technology, you want all the bells and whistles, if you want the most convenient experience, then maybe the Learning Thermostat is worth it for you.
Yeah. If you want that seamless integration and you don't mind paying a premium for it, that's the way to go.
Yeah. And you also get that premium design like we were talking about.
Right. That metal construction, the multiple color options, it really does look and feel like a high-end device.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get that far sight display, which
Yeah.
it's not essential, but it is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice touch. It adds to that whole smart home vibe.
Yeah. Like you walk into the room.
Yeah.
And the thermostat lights up. It knows you're there.
Right. It's like it's welcoming you home.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
you know, not everybody needs all that.
Right. Some people
Yeah.
just want a thermostat. That works.
Mm.
And doesn't cost a fortune.
Yeah. And that's where the Nest Thermostat comes in.
Exactly.
It still has a modern design.
Yeah. It's just a little more basic.
Yeah.
And, you know, even though it doesn't learn your schedule automatically, you could still set a schedule manually.
Right.
So you can still have that control over when your heating and cooling system turns on and off.
Yeah. It just takes a little more effort on your part. You have to be a little more hands-on.
Exactly.
It's kind of like choosing between a self-driving car and a car with manual transmission.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah. They'll both get you where you need to go. But the experience is very different.
Right. And it really comes down to what kind of experience you prefer.
Yeah. Do you want the car to do all the work? Or do you like having that control?
Exactly.
So how do you actually make this decision? Like, what are the factors that people should be considering?
Well, I think one of the best things you can do is go back to those articles you sent us.
Yeah.
They really go into a lot of detail about the specific features, the compatibility with different heating and cooling systems. And they even compare these Nest thermostats to other brands on the market.
Right. So they're a great resource for getting the full picture.
Definitely.
We've just tried to highlight some of the key differences.
Yeah.
You know, some things to think about.
Right. Hopefully we've given you some food for thought and pointed you in the right direction.
Yeah, we're like your research assistants.
Exactly.
But ultimately, the decision is up to you.
Right.
There's no right or wrong answer here.
No. Both of these thermostats are great options. It really just comes down to your individual needs and preferences.
So we've talked about the price, we've talked about the design, we've talked about the features, but there's one big question that we haven't really addressed yet. And that is the learning capability really worth it?
That's a great question. And it's one that only you can answer.
Right.
It really depends on how much you value convenience and how important energy savings are to you.
Yeah.
But
because with the Learning Thermostat, you're essentially paying a premium for a device. That takes care of itself.
Right.
It learns your routine. It adjusts the temperature automatically. You don't have to think about it.
It's very hands-off.
Yeah. And for some people, that peace of mind is worth the extra cost.
Absolutely.
For other people, maybe they like having more control.
No.
Maybe they like to be more hands-on. Or maybe they just can't justify spending that extra money.
Right. It's a budget consideration, too.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
There's no judgment here.
No. The important thing is to choose a thermostat that you'll be happy with.
Yeah, and that fits your lifestyle.
Exactly.
So here's something to think about.
Okay.
Think about your relationship with technology in general. Do you like things to be automated and hands-free?
Yeah.
Or do you prefer to be more involved in the process?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Because ultimately, choosing a thermostat is about more than just features and price tags.
Right.
It's about finding a device that aligns with your personal preferences and how you want to interact with your home. Okay. So as we wrap this up, I think there's one more thing to consider.
Yeah. We talked about convenience and all that.
But we should also talk about energy savings.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a big deal when it comes to thermostats.
Right. The whole point is
to
help you use less energy.
And save money.
Exactly. And both of these Nest thermostats can do that. But the learning thermostat might have an edge here.
Oh, how so?
Because it learns your schedule and adjusts the temperature automatically. It can be more efficient.
So it's like taking the guesswork out of it. I just don't have to think about it. It just does it for me.
Right. It knows when you're home and away, and it adjusts the temperature accordingly.
So I'm not heating or cooling an empty house? Exactly.
An article's mentioned.
And
Some people
have
seen some pretty significant savings.
Yeah, like a noticeable difference in their energy bills.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But what about the regular Nest thermostat? The cheaper one. Does that still help with energy savings?
Yeah, definitely. It still has features like scheduling and remote control. So you can make sure that your system isn't running when it doesn't need to be.
Okay.
And remember, it also automatically switches between home and away modes based on your phone's location.
Oh, yeah. So I don't have to worry about, like, turning it off every time I leave the house.
Exactly.
That's nice.
It just takes care of it for you.
Okay. So it sounds like both of these thermostats can help you save energy.
Yeah. It just depends on how much automation you want. Right. Like, do you want it to do everything for you, or do you want to be a little bit more involved?
Exactly.
So to wrap up, I think the takeaway here is whether you choose the Nest Learning Thermostat or just the Nest Thermostat, you're making a smart choice.
Yeah.
You're bringing smart technology into your home, which can make your life more comfortable, more convenient.
Potentially. Even help you save money.
Exactly.
Maybe even reduce your environmental impact.
Right.
So all good things.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope we helped you make a decision about your next smart thermostat.
And if you have any other topics that you'd like us to deep dive into, just send them our way.
We're always looking for new things to explore. All right, we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more smart home tips. Hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest reviews and guides. Have questions or want to share your experience with the Nest Thermostat? Drop a comment below. Check the links in the description for exclusive deals on both thermostats and other smart home products. Transform your home today.